Okay, so today we are talking about logs day 4. That's pretty much just a review day. And I've got several little things I want to start with here. First is rewriting stuff. We started this whole thing to do logs is things like this that have an x in the exponent. They're called what? Exponential. Good. That little device. All right. Now, the log of what? I'm rewriting this now. Log 5, and then what's next? All right, and if you had to put that in the calculator, how would you do it? Log 10 over log 5. I'm going to bet that most of you don't know how to say that. I want you to write. How do you say this in words? The first word is log, and you can't have any extra syllables in there, any extra words. You need to say it in words exactly how you're supposed to say that. And a lot of people just say it funny. They throw extra words and they shouldn't. All right, in a second, you're going to be surprised at how the kid next to you says it differently than you, and only one of you. All right, turn and show it to somebody else. See if your way and their way is the same. I know there's a lot of different ways people say this. Some of you don't even know how. I saw a person who just said log base 5. Come on. You just didn't know what to say next, so you chickened out. All right. What do you think, guy in the black shirt turning your iPad towards me? I'm not going to go. Log, here's his log base 5 of n equals x, and that is perfect. If you have any extra syllables, any extra words in there, you didn't do it right. Be honest, who has exactly that? Okay, that's about half of you, or a little less. Okay. It is not of 5. It is not to the 10. Those are common things I hear people throwing around. And I know some people just forgot to say the is equal to x part or equals x part. But log base 5 of 10. All right. Now, that's a log. So what do you use them for? Well, we figure out the answer by, again, maybe dividing a couple logs on the calculator, and you get the decimal. I want you to get your calculator out and actually do this one. Log 10 divided by log 5 and see what you get. For instance, on the little practice quiz we're going to take today, there's some problems you can use calcs and some problems you can't. So I would bet you that the quiz you take tomorrow, so some you can use the calculator on and some you can't. Unplug and replug in later if you want to. All right. So if you take log 10 divided by log 5, if you don't type parentheses right, you will get it wrong. And there were like several kids last hour that during the Schoology quiz got the answer off by a couple decimal places because they typed it in slightly wrong. What I'm talking about there is if you type in log, the calculator automatically puts up a parentheses. And then I say log 10, and I don't hit the end parentheses, I'm doing it wrong. Log 10, end the parentheses. Log, it automatically puts up 5, and then you got to end the parentheses equals. Okay, that's what you should have done. Who did that? Okay, good. Would you tell me what you got? 1.43. Now, could we have known that it was going to be 1 point something? Yes, and here's how. I would have thought of this as the original, the exponential here, and said to myself, 1 would be 5. If I put in a 1 here, it's 5 to the 1, so it'd be 5. 2 would be too big, because if I put in 5 to the second, I'd get 25, and that's too big. So it obviously has to be between 1 and 2. If you had taken a guess and said like 1.5, that would have been pretty close. All right, on the test, you're going to have questions like that, where they're going to say, here's a problem. Tell me what it's between. And so there won't be calculators, of course. So let's do those. Log base 8. Would you please figure out what you think that would be between. Does it be between 1 and 2, between 2 and 3, 4? Take it. I think it's like 1 point something. Then say what that is, like 1.6, 1.2. We'll see who can get closest to the right answer. No using a calculator here. Does anybody... see? No using the calculator. I know you're... Oh, I thought you were checking it. But don't use the calculator yet, because I have the answer to get out. Because I'm going to give a small prize to the person who's closest. Unless, has anybody already typed it in? Just tell me. Okay, thank you. I'll do a different problem. For right now, who's pretty confident? Who feels good about theirs, besides the kid who already looked? Yes? Okay, what do you think it is? About? 6. And did you actually divide them? What did you get on when you divided them? 1.62. You were off a smidge. Close to 1.62. Nobody? Are you sure it's 1.62? Let's double check it. Take log 29 divided by log 8. Is it 1.62? All right. These aren't super easy to nail, but was anybody close to 1.6, 1.5 maybe? 1.54, that's pretty close. All right. Dad, see if you can guess this one right, and nobody type it into your calculator. Give this one close to. Ace 4, 14. Don't use the calculator. So what you should be saying to yourself is, if I had 4 to the x equals 40, then it would be, well, it has to be bigger than 1. Have to be bigger than 2. And figure it out. Okay, type it in the calculator yet. Still waiting for guesses. Give your guess to the 100th place. And I am putting up a small reward on this one. Bag of extreme wonder. All right, so show your answer to somebody first before we go look up what it actually. Make sure that there's some accountability here, because otherwise I hate when that kid says, yeah, exactly, and then you feel like they just wrote it. All right. Everybody grab your calculator. Divide that puppy on the calculator. It'll be log 40. And got it in the parentheses. Don't forget that. Divide by log 4. What is the answer? 2 point what? 6 what? 6.3? Who had 2.63? Oh, I keep asking and you keep messing me up. Okay, 2.66. All right. 2.6. So who had it? Who had exactly 2.66? Who had really close to 2.66? What did you say? 2.63. Anybody closer than 2.6? What did you have? 2.65. 2.6 are tied. What did you have? All right. And yours? Okay. 3, come on up. Did you show it to anybody, Mr. N? Mr. M? All right. All right, good job. Now, that is actually overkill, because on the test, all we've been asking is, what's it between? And what would you say it's between? Between 2 and 3. Okay? I think we should be more tough on those, because you guys are getting them right to within the thousands someplace. Then we could probably be tougher than just saying it's between 2 and 3. All right. Let's talk about base changes. You're going to see this come up a lot on the test. Actually, I haven't even seen the test, but I know what should be on the test. This is something that should be on the test. Something like this. Why? Because we like base changes. Gentlemen. All right. So what is that 1/6 and that 6 have in common for a base? They could have a 6 for a base. They don't have a 6 for a base right now, but I could take this 1 6 and move that 1. Here, I'm going to write it in there. And you can just put a 6 back in there. You can't do that. 6 and 1 6 are not the same thing. But you could put in 6 to the what? Negative. Then the cool part is that since these bases are the same, that means this has to equal. Okay, so negative 2x has to equal 2, and then x must equal 2 divided by negative 2, which would be. Did I just something wrong there? Oh, sorry. I wrote this and I put this. Sorry, that's supposed to be a negative 1x. There we go. So then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1. X equals negative 2. Then, remember those things called extraneous answers? It's smart if there's a test and there's only like 6 or so questions that are like solving equations. Just take a second and check them and see if they work. In the last few tests we've had extraneous answers. Watch out. So this one happens to work. If I stick the negative 2 right there back into the original problem, just to clarify, is 1 to the x is equal to 6 squared, and we put in the answer of negative 2. Yeah, because this 6 squared is 36, and this here, 1/6 squared, and the negative, well, first I do the 1/6 squared, and that'd be 1/36. And then the negative makes it flip and be plain old 36. So it does work. But take a second to check them. It's always smart to double check your answers and make sure they're not extraneous. Here's a classic one that would turn out. See if you can even. Nope, I'm wrong. This is 25. All right, solve that one. If you think you know it like super fast at the top of your head, you're probably doing it wrong. Is that device giving you oxygen? Just down that. All right. So, you should have said, I know this seems. And so, like, it's just 5 squared, 5, so it's 5, right? When you put this as the square root, you're doing x equals 5. X has to be 5, and x has to be negative 5. But a lot of kids don't know that. You got this, and it makes sense if you think about it. Isn't there 2 things that make this 25? Put in 5, it works. Put in negative 5, it all works. But the thing, just one of them can't really do which one. The negative 5. It's an answer, though. And kids just skip right over 5, and they don't even think about this. But that is called an extraneous answer because you can't put in there. Spot and this spot can't have negatives. Watch out for that. So what if they put the negative there? It's a super easy answer. Undefined. Okay. Not allowed. Or if there was a negative there, also not allowed. Or if there's a 0 here, also not allowed. Or if there's a 0 here, also not allowed. These 2 spots can't have zeros or negatives, so they must be positive numbers. So watch out for that. All right. Can this be a 1? Yes, it can. And therefore, think for a second. There's an automatic answer for this one. 0. Because I could say equals x, say 1. And x has to equal 1, and then pretty soon you figure out that you have to put it to the 0 power to make that work. So here's a property that says that if you have anything here, that the answer will automatically be what? 0. Okay, here's another property. Log, shut your iPads. What's the answer for that one? 2, because it's the exponent. Okay, what's the answer to it now? 1, because there's really an x. Okay, what's the answer that? 2, because this 9 could be written as a 3 squared, and then the answer is the exponent. You getting this? Next one, let's say it's 8 to the log base 8 of 12. What's the answer? 12. If these two are the same, yeah. Okay, prove that one to you, and that would be a good test question. That this was true. And how you do it is this. Is there any x right now? No, so I could say equals x. And then this, which looks like it's a log, is not a log. This is an exponential. Can be written as a log. Base b. 8. Then you don't put the next thing in order. You go all the way over to the other side. X. And then you come all the way back here. Log base 8 of 12. And then so then must equal this. That's how you know that it's true. Cancel puppies off. You'd have x equals 12. All right, but the simple way to say it is if this and this are the same, then that's the answer. Okay, there's the properties section you have to know. That covers pretty much everything that you need to know. So now, what I would recommend is there is a Schoology quiz right now, sitting there waiting for you. And it is 11 questions, and one thing for a lot of kids forget to reduce their answer. So if your answer comes down to like 8/4, you got to reduce that to 2. Or if it comes down to 6/8, you'd have to reduce to 3/4. Okay, so reduce your answer, otherwise it will be marked wrong and tough noogies. Okay, so it's there. It's called Logs Quiz on Schoology in the online quizzes thing. Yeah, day 3 and 4. Yep, 3 and 4 quiz. It's at 11 points. You got it? Oh, good question. No calcs until the last 2 questions. It says on there you can use a calc on this one, on the last 2 questions. Yes, the day 3 and 4 one. Okay, that's all I got for you for today. All right, I have one more thing to add. Here is your worksheet. And I wanted to, especially for Mrs. Weedless classes today, and hey, we all have the same worksheet assigned, I wanted to show you a couple problems off the worksheet that might have been tough. So I'm continuing my recording here. We're going to look at the very beginning of the worksheet. Looks like this. It says solve the following without a calculator. So yes, you can do this without showing too much. You just replace it with a 9 squared, and then what's the answer to that one? 2. And that'd be for me anyway on how much work you need to show. This 5, don't get confused with that. They want to go rewrite the base. That will not help you. You have to rewrite that 5 as a 25. The log base 25 of 25 to the something. 5 equal to, I could replace it with 25 to the what? To 1/2. Ever rewrite the base, always get these numbers to be the same as each other, but don't rewrite the base. Leave it alone. Okay, the next few words aren't too bad in there. And then let me show you one more thing before I let you get back to what you were doing. This is the kind where X is already a, and it says with a calculator. Did you have to show? Yes, do. The work you have to show me is what did you type in your calculator. And on A, you what? 36 over what? 7. And don't forget to do the parentheses in the right spots. All right, one more topic. This comes on the next page, and that is where they're using calculator. They're kind of get this. That this is 2x to the third equals 30. Third equals 30, but you know what? I just wrote it wrong. Can anybody tell me what I'm doing wrong? Kid in the back corner, shut your iPad. Everybody else is shut. Thank you. All right. How do I do this? I've done something wrong. Parentheses. The 2x to the third, this needs to be to the third, and it makes a big difference. Otherwise, you'd end up dividing by 2, but you can't divide by 2. You start by... if you do the parentheses right, you'll know, I've got to put this whole thing to the 1/3 power.